What's up, TTFF people? Welcome back to the Tucson Family Food Project. My name is Steven Cotorobles. Today we're circling back to the most popular recipe we've ever made, with just a few changes. And with today's recipe, you'll see just how easy it is to change things based on what you have available. And the funny thing is, sometimes when you do that, you end up with something that's even better than the original. So get ready, because today we're making sweet squash mac and cheese. In your meal kit this week, you have 8 ounces of honey nut, delicata, and butternut squash, 3 cups of cheese, 1/3 cup of flour, 2.5 cups of milk, 1/3 cup of butter, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of parsley, 2.5 cups of macaroni, and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And all you're gonna need to cook this week's recipe is a pot to boil the macaroni in, a baking sheet which is provided in your meal kit, a frying pan, a silicone or wooden spatula, and a colander. Now that our salted water has come to a boil, we're gonna add in our macaroni. And we're gonna stir this every so often to make sure that the macaroni doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan or itself. And we're gonna cook this for about 8 to 9 minutes. So to roast our squash, we're gonna pour in our extra virgin olive oil into the bag, as well as about half of your spice mix. And then you want to close the bag up, and we're going to shake this until that oil and the spice mix gets over all of the squash. All right, that looks about good. And then all you're going to do is lay your squash out in a single layer in your pan. And this is going to go into the oven at 385 degrees for 15 minutes. To make our cheese sauce, first we're gonna make a roux by melting butter over medium heat. And we're gonna wait until all of this butter is melted before we add in our flour. Now that our butter's all melted, we're gonna sprinkle in our flour. And we're gonna stir this together until everything is incorporated, and we're gonna cook this for about 3 minutes or until you start noticing the mixture start to brown. That's gonna cook out all of the flour taste. So now that our flour has started to brown, we're gonna add in our milk. And just real carefully pour this in. And we're gonna stir this all up until it thickens. And we wanna raise the heat just a little bit to medium high. And this will be pretty quick, but you'll notice when it starts to thicken up. You want to break up all the little pieces of the butter and flour mixture until everything is all nice and smooth and thick. Okay, so now you can see how thick our sauce has gotten. So now our roux is ready for spices and cheese. So what we're gonna do is turn off the heat, and we're gonna add in the rest of our spice mixture. And then we're gonna add in about half of our cheese. We're gonna stir this all around until the cheese melts and it's entirely incorporated. Now that our macaroni's done, we will very carefully pour it into our colander and drain it. Now we're just gonna put everything together. So we're gonna put our macaroni in here with our squash, and we're gonna put our cheese sauce in here with the macaroni. Then we're gonna mix everything up and pop this into the oven. All right, and then our last important step before we pop this into the oven is to use the rest of our cheese and sprinkle it on. Then we're gonna pop this into the oven for 5 to 10 more minutes until everything's all melted. So there is our sweet squash mac and cheese. Thank you so much to our friends at Pivot Produce for donating the absolutely delicious delicata and honey nut squash we used in this week's recipe. Also, this week, you're all gonna be going home with one of these. This is our first ever student design contest. We want you to help us design a logo that we'll use to commemorate this school year. It can be anything food related or anything relating to the Tucson Family Food Project. I'll be picking these up next week, Friday, April 14th, then we'll put the designs on our social media and ask the community to vote for their favorite. The winner will get a prize package and they'll get to see their design used by the Tucson Family Food Project to commemorate the 2022-2023 school year. There's absolutely no pressure to participate, so if this isn't your cup of tea, no worries at all. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy your long weekend, and I'll see you right back here next week with another delicious recipe. So until then, peace.